Welcome to the Intro to Mining class. It's going to be, a little bit of a high over class maybe. There's going to be loads of info. All of them is going to be, you know, good for you. If there are questions in between, just type them in the chat or let me open the chat. I'll keep an eye on the chat and or just speak up on comms and we'll get your questions all answered and stuff like that. So what are we going to talk about today? What are mining ships? What do they do? Why are they in the game? Which ones do you have? That there's, uh, you know, a couple of different sizes and shapes and different uses for them and stuff like that. So we're going to cover that too. Um, we'll also cover what it is that that you can mine in the game. Because there's multiple things you can harvest and use as products for industry, or you can just sell it or whatever it is that you want with it. And we'll just give you the gradual intro to how do I start, how do I move up, because there's um, uh, more expensive mining ships, there's more difficult mining ships as well, maybe stuff that you need to train for. We'll cover that too, and we're just gonna cover range of topics. So it's basically anything from this really nice venture that you see that we all kind of start off with in the game, all the way up to the Tech 2 mining ships, and we'll dip a little bit into mining boosts and what those are. We have fleet boosts in game, of course, and we also have mining boosts, and they improve your mining statistics and stuff like that. We'll cover a little bit of that too, and then we'll end off with a couple general tips and tricks of, you know, what is good to do and what is what's not so good to do and stuff like that. And of course, questions and stuff like that, please, go ahead about that. So, without further ado, this is the Venture. You probably have seen this ship maybe already. It's kind of the first thing that you get. Some people get this from a game master. There's a couple of game masters running around in the game that if they see new people, they'll hand them out some ships and stuff. So maybe you get like an exploration ship and a mining ship as well. And I think one of the very early on career missions also uh, hand out this ship as a reward. Um, and it's basically like this really cool small frigate-sized industrial ship. And it has these mining turrets there attached to it, and they harvest material. And you can just fly to an asteroid belt, use this ship, and harvest the rocks that are in the asteroid belt. And you can sell that, make a profit, or you can build items from it. If you reprocess the ore, that's basically what each mining ship does, and some do it better than others because this is just like the base entry model, if you may call that. So this mine's a little bit slow, but it's good. It's a cheap ship. It's a fast ship. You can just go anywhere and even just mine with this. So mining ships, they harvest materials. That's what they do. So um, there's a couple different variations. So this is like the base version, and then from here, most people uh, go up to the little bit bigger version of this one, and they'll go into the mining barges, which kind of come afterwards. And as you can already see, they're a little bit bigger. They use bigger mining modules as well. Like this is like a bigger version of the other one. Um, and so you got this one, and then you also have a couple special ones. So more T2 kind of ships. So you have this looks like the Venture, but it's actually the T2 version of it. Um, and it only has one mining laser, but it mines a little bit more. And then we also have another one, also a T2 version, does a little bit different. So there's like different sizes and stuff like that. So we're just gonna go back to the Venture, gonna dive into the fitting a little bit, and then we'll just quickly, touch up on all of the different sizes and shapes of ships that you have. So if we just go back to the Venture, and we're gonna look into the fitting. This is kind of like a decent fitting that you can use every day. Um, so as I already said, you got these mining modules here. That's kind of the heart of the Venture, because this is what mines the stuff for you. Um, there's a little bit of there's a shield extender here, because if you're in a mining belt, you'll have some NPCs, enemies that will spawn from time to time, and they'll attack your little mining ship as well. So you need a little bit, protection, so you get a little bit more EHP. I think yeah, it's like substantial amount, like it increases it by yeah almost 3,000 hit points. So that's really really good to have. Then we got our propulsion mod. Now you know all of the asteroids are kind of stationary, but sometimes they're placed kilometers apart. So you need to travel like 20, 30 kilometers to get to the next rock that you want to mine. So you can either use an afterburner, or if you have the fitting capacity, you can also just use the micro warp drive, which you'll have a really fast mining ship then. And we have this really nifty device, which is a survey scanner, which kind of scans all the rocks that are in this on this module within 20 kilometers range of you, and you can just see what's in there, um, how much M3 is in there and stuff like that. And then in the low slots we have this module, which is a mining laser upgrade, which basically increases the mining yield for the miners actually. And then for this fitting I just put some shield extenders in the rig slots, just to give it a little bit more hit points. And we have this really nice salvager, because we've got a couple of drones equipped, as you can see here. So the Venture can use like two small drones. You can use them to kill the NPC ships that attack you, and then you can pick up the loot, and you can use the salvager to salvage them. So this is just a example. So let's just undock, warp to an asteroid belt, see how that works. Maybe there's some NPCs that are there, then we can shoot them already. So we've undocked here. We are just going to warp to a mining belt. I've got them listed right here on my overview. I don't know if you can actually see them. Nah, you can't see them anywhere from here. You'll have to set up your overview in a way that you can see mining belts. I think that is, you can find that in the overview settings. So if you click on it's not a hamburger menu anymore. It's like three dots. Just open the overview settings, and then it should be, yeah, over on the filters page. And then you can just type in the search here. You can just type in asteroid, which is nifty, and then it will pop up here. And you can also click on all of these so that they're on your overview. So we're just gonna warp to one at 0, just a random one, and we'll just you can see how the lasers work, etc. Um, there's not a whole lot of difference, I think, in well, yeah, there's maybe a little bit of difference in the high sec systems and what ores and stuff that you can mine, but there's if you go into low sec and null sec, we'll touch up on that a little bit later. You'll get different ores which are worth more and stuff like that. Um, looks like the Carista's enemies have already been destroyed here, so that's good. Now, as you can already see on my overview, there's like a couple of rocks here. Um, they're all here, so I'm just gonna fly to them a little bit closer, and then I can show you the survey scanner and stuff like that. Yeah, that's about it. That's good enough, I think. Yeah. So if we press on the module for the survey scanner, it just does one cycle, shows you a really nice list of every rock that is within 20 kilometers from me at the moment. You can just click all these tabs open, just have a look. So there's plagioclase and there's feldspar and pyroxeras and all kinds of stuff, scordite. Um, and you can see like how much units is in each rock, how much M3 that is, and the distance from your ship to the rock. And you can even just select them. You can target them from here, which is really nifty. You can just right click here and then lock target, and then it targets that. You can also just press down on the control key and just click them, and then it's just oh, that one's too far away, but you can just click a
Hey,
couple.
sorry, my bad. Sorry for interrupting. I joined. How did you get that tab? Survey scan
Oh,
results.
the survey scan. Oh, that's all fine. Um, so if we have this survey scanner
Yeah, yeah, I
device
see.
installed, um, you know, um, and if you just have it cycle once, so you just click on it, it just does one cycle, and then it stops, and then it gives you this really cool
Thank you.
window. So
Yep, thank you, thank you.
you are very
I've seen
welcome.
that and I didn't even know what that is.
hmm this is really useful info. Also
Yeah,
because
really useful.
hmm if we are going to look at the item, the inventory hanger of the inventory of the ship, you see a couple different things here too as well actually. Like this venture has like a really low amount of cargo space, like only 50 M3, but it has like the drone bay as well, of course, which the drones are in, but it also has this like this mining hold, and there's like 5,000 M3 available for you know holding ore. And if you mine, so we're just gonna, I think we need to move a little bit closer to one of these. Um, yeah, because the range is 12 kilometers. So if you start mining one of these rocks, and these mining modules, they'll cycle. So I'll just mine that rock, and you can mine another one individually. See? And these lasers, they're just, uh, shooting at the rock basically. And as you can see, they're pulling in materials. Really cool animation. So it's basically like a laser beam with a tractor beam attached to it, because it just pulls in all the stuff all the way back into your ship. And if we stop you can just stop the lasers mid cycle, and then it just pulls in whatever it has, already collected at that point, and it puts it all in the mining hold. Um, and so if you use the survey scanner, you can just see, okay, well, this is almost 24,000 M3, so that's kind of like five full mining holds of this venture, and then you can kind of plan which ore that or which rock that you want to mine. So that's kind of how that goes with the venture. It's really easy to use. It's also a really fun ship because you can go across the map really quickly. If you want to go into low sec or null sec, maybe even. It's a small ship. It's nimble. It can evade people that want to shoot you or gate camps or whatever. Um, really cool ship. We're gonna dock back up, and we are going to. There we go. Gonna dock back up. We're
Warp
gonna
drive
grab
active.
one of those bigger ships, and I'll show you, you know, what those do. Because the Venture is kind of, it's just one ship. It's like a entry level thing. There's no variation in it. Uh, just mine stuff. Um,
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
and looking at the Venture as well, if we're gonna go into the info page, it has a couple of bonuses as well, which also kind of goes into a little bit what there is to mine. So there's a different. So we've just mined just normal asteroids. Um, there's also gas. There's gas clouds in space, mostly in low sec and null sec, I think. Um, they spawn as a site that you can either warp to, and you can scoop up the gas. It's really profitable, and you can mine ice, which is also really cool. We'll do that in a little bit as well. There's the ice belt next door in the system next door. I'll show you that as well. And you can mine at moons, and I'll touch up about moons and how that works a little bit later. There's no moon here in this system that I can show you, but uh, I'll try and explain how that works. Um, so we're going to go into the bigger ships. So this is like a mining barge. It's like the bigger option. It's still a T1 ship. We'll touch up about on T2 ships after this one. Um, and these mining barges are kind of uh, there's three different ships that fall under the mining barge category, and I'm just gonna explain what each of them is really good at. So if we're gonna look at the mining barge skill, there's three ships here that you can fly with the mining barge skill, and that is I'll just put them all on screen. It's going to be a little bit of a tight fit these days with the really cool new ship model that you can see when you click on it. Let's see. Yeah, this is going to work. Cool. Um, just going to put on the info page. So these are all three different ships, and there's like a little bit, visual difference as well. As you can see, the Procura here is a little bit, it's a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter than the other two. This is probably well, no, it's probably just as long as this one, I think, but this one has, there's just some little visual differences, but there's also statistic difference though. Um, and not to go into details too much, the Procura is basically the one that has the most hit points out of all of these three ships, and that's based on the fact that it gets the 6% bonus to shield hit points per level, so that's really cool. It does, however, have like a smaller ore hold than it's like the middle of I think it has like 12,000 M3 or something. So this one has like it's the middle of the road in terms of ore hold capacity, and it mines the least amount of ore per minute, but you know, it offsets that by having the most hit points. So it's, you know, if you want to mine in low sec, for instance, then, you know, and you're not really comfortable with maybe there's enemy people there or stuff like that, you can use a Procure. It's a little bit safer because it has more shield hit points, so maybe you know, maybe it will survive an enemy attack, stuff like that. Um, then we have the Coveter, which basically has it in terms of hit points. It goes all the other way because this has the least amount of hit points. It also has the least amount of uh, cargo hold capacity for the ore, but on the other hand, it can mine the fastest out of all the three. So, and because it mines the fastest, you can get the most ore in per minute. You know, and the offset for that is that it has less M3 and less capacity. So you need to offload the ore more, you know, so you need to find a way to either ditch the ore into space or have another ship pick it up, stuff like that. And then talking about ore capacity, we're going to go to the Retriever, which kind of is the middle of the road in terms of shield hit points, but it has the largest ore hold capacity out of all of these three. Um, and it has like the middle of the road numbers in terms of how fast it can mine the ore. So that, you know, it doesn't mine the fastest, but it has the most capacity to hold ore. So if you're maybe you're mining something really in a remote area that there's no station in there to deposit the ore, stuff like that, then maybe the Retriever is a good choice for you because then you can mine more ore. You know, fly back to your home station, and deposit the ore there and go back, mine more, stuff like that. So it's kind of, you know, all of them are, you know, good to use. It's just whatever you prioritize, you know. So Procure, most hit points, uh, least amount of ore mined, but decent ore hold. Covetor is the lowest amount of ore that you can hold, but it mines the fastest. And then you got the Retriever, which just has the biggest ore hold capacity. Um, and they also use the different modules because we used the Venture. It used like a minor module, and this one uses at the moment it's using a strip. It's using a strip miner, which is the bigger version, and this is also the Tech 2 version too. I'll explain what that does also. Let me just equip a normal strip miner as well, because I should have that somewhere here. Um, do I have a normal strip miner? Should have one. There it is in the other mods. So that is here. Let me go and grab one. Should be here. I think oh, mining mods. I was not looking correctly. There we go. Yeah, so there's also a little bit of a difference here. So we got the normal uh, T1 strip miner that just mines basically every normal ore and moon ore as well. And then we also have this T2 one, and there's like a little bit funny going on with this one because there's like a charge in this, and you can swap them out. So if we look at the you know, I can drag the charge and I can put different charges in. Um, and that basically is that you can like specify which ore that you're mining at the moment, and you'll get a bonus for that. So we are in high sec at the moment. If you right click on the mining crystal, it will tell you, you know, which ore is simple ore. So in this case, simple ore is plagioclase, pyroxeres, and all of these. And we just saw those, in the other mining belt. So we're just gonna put this thing back in there, and we are just going to go back to the mining belt and mine some more. And while we are warping to the belt,
Warp drive
I'll quickly
active.
show you the differences in mining crystals. They kind of work like, for people that are familiar with Amar laser guns, if you like use Tech 2 laser crystals or faction laser crystals, the more you shoot them, they deteriorate over time, and then eventually they break, and you need to put in new ones. And that's kind of the same as that these work. So as you can see, this crystal charge is already 25% damage. So you use the crystal, and then at a certain point it just breaks, and you'll have to put in a new one. So the Tech 1 for strip miner though, it doesn't use any crystals, so it's just uh, just does its thing. Let's move into range of this rock. The Oh, there's already a couple of enemies that are shooting at me. Let's just I don't have the correct drones for this region, but we can just shoot them and defeat them nonetheless. Oh, they're already attacking. That's good. And as you can see, I'm being shot at, but the shield on the barges is quite good, so there's not a whole lot of damage coming through in high sec. So we are pretty good on that. I think, yeah, I am in range. Um, yeah, we have the same nifty device here again. Survey scanner. Just we get our list. I want some feldspar, and I want some plagioclase, please. Um, yeah. So again, you can just mine whichever ore it is that you can also just send them to the same rock. That's all fine. Um, yeah. So as you can see, like the normal strip miner, just to dive a little bit into the stats, it's mining like 9.5 M3 a second. And if you look at the Tech 2 one with the crystal, it mines 13.7. So it's a significant increase. So you're going to mine more ore with these um, Tech 2 strip miners with the crystals. And the offset is that, you use the crystals, they deteriorate over a set amount of time, and then they eventually break. But in the meantime, you've already earned more money because you've mined more ore. So that's kind of the thing about that. So it comes in three different types of crystals, and we're going to dive into that a little bit. We're going to touch upon that. So if you look at the modulated strip miner 2 in the info window, you can go to this page, used with, and it shows you a really long list of all types of crystals that I can use. To be really uh, quick about it, it's basically moon mining crystals for moon ore, which I can't show you any moon ore at the moment, but it's divided up in moon mining crystals and the asteroid mining crystals. And then you get like the type A, B, and C, and that is where I need to explain a game mechanic. I'm just gonna place them side by side. And I also want to get this info a little bit. So it's a little bit cluttered up right now, but we're gonna look over at this area at the moment. We're gonna show, just gonna show one important thing. So if you're like mining this rock right here, oh wait, it's there, it's hidden behind all of this stuff. Normally speaking, if we just mine that rock with the Tech 1 miner module or the strip miner, you just pull in all the all the ore and everything that's in there. You just pull it in, and that's that. If you use a T2 module, because inherently it can mine more, as you can see on with the stats here, the game kind of punishes you, it kind of punishes you for using the T2 one, and it destroys each cycle. You get like a percentage of chance that you destroy a portion of the rock that you're mining at the moment, and that is what EVE Online calls residue. And mining residue. So as you can see here, it's based on stats, skills for yourself as well, etc. But there's like a 37% probability that you're going to destroy a portion of the ore that you're mining at the moment. I think. Are there a new? Yeah, there's a new enemy. I'm just going to shoot him. So that's kind of the offset of Tech 2 versus Tech 1. And then if we dive into these crystals, they further increase that amount or decrease that amount, actually, that residue amount. So if we're going to look at the attributes, the type A crystal, let's see, yeah, so the residue probability bonus is not further increased any more than the 37.6% that there's already there, so this just mines it as is. If you go into the type B crystal, the type B crystal actually increases the amount of ore that you do mine. So you mine a little bit more, like there's an asteroid yield modifier here, and there's some other stuff. This mines just a little bit more ore per minute, but the offset is that it adds another 20% residue probability. So now you're up to 57%. So, there's more chance for you to destroy a portion of ore in the rock. So in the end, you'll mine a little bit less. And then the Type C crystal basically does it intentionally, because the residue probability bonus goes up by 40%, and it can even then destroy even more ore in it. So most of the time I use these type A's because I just want as less ore destroyed as possible. I just want to mine the most amount of ore off the field, basically. The type B's is for if I need stuff really quickly, like I need Veldspar and I need a whole lot of it, and I want to have it, I want to have it now, basically. So then I use these, and um, these Type C crystals you can basically use to either like in nullsec, and yeah, like I think only in nullsec and in high sec and low sec as well. You get asteroid sites that spawn, and they will only respawn after the entire site is completed. So if there's still some ore left there that might not be really valuable or whatever, if you don't, clear out the entire mining belt, then there won't, then a new site will spawn, but maybe 2 days later. If you clear it out now, then maybe a couple hours later you'll have a new site and you can start mining again. So that's when these Type C crystals come in handy, because you add so much probability to destroy the ore. You basically clear out the field by mining it and destroying it faster. You can also you can also use the Type C crystals to mine in someone else's space and completely destroy all their ore, and it's useless to them. So, it's a tactic. But yeah, that's kind of the three types when you're using the Tech 2 modules. And as you can see, I've already mined quite a lot, and you can already see the difference actually, because in the meantime that I've been talking about these crystals, the Tech 2 module has mined like 1500 M3 more than the Tech 1 version. So yeah, now it's mined like 2000 M3 more than the Tech 1 version. So that's kind of basically um, you know, the increase that you get with Tech 2 modules. Really cool. Does anybody have questions in? Oh, in between. I'm gonna look. Um, Class started at 18:30, so you haven't missed a whole lot. The Oh yeah, and some other questions already got answered. Is there anyone that has a question in between? You can just type in chat or. Um, the Strip Miner 1, it does perform better without the crystal. It does. If I remove the crystal from the T2 module, so I'm just going to drag it into here, then the stats change again, and you can see that yes, if you don't use the crystal, you can just, we're just going to activate it on this one, because yes, oh wait, you can mine without the crystal, as you know. Where's my ship? Is the laser going? Yep, the laser is going. Um, but yeah, because you're not bonusing yourself for something, so then it mines less. That's correct. So you basically only use the modulated strip miners with the crystals. And I mean, if you don't have the correct crystal in your ship, then you can always go with this. But then yes, then you'll be mining less. But yeah, just make sure that you have a couple of these crystals on you, and that you can just swap out to the ore that you're mining at the moment. So that's the mining barge. We'll quickly go on to show a couple of the T2 ships, and I'll show you how ice mining goes as well. And after that, we'll cover some mining boosts as well. So, yeah, so you started off with your venture. Um, you trained into these mining barges with the mining barge skill, which is this one. I don't know how long it takes to train though. I think these days it's quicker, but you're probably looking at least 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then you can fly the mining barge, I think, in times of training. But then you'll have it. And where do we go from there? What's next? Um, Let me check, because I should have. Yeah, I do have. I will show you. Yeah, I'll have to pick that one up, but that's all good. I'll just quickly contract it over. There we go. I'm just quickly gonna show the Tech 2 version. I'll pick it up in the other structure here in system, so that won't take long.
Active.
The T2 ship that I'm picking up is the Mackinac, which is basically the T2 version of the other mining barge that I was flying, the Retriever. And these T2 ships are they are, you know, similarly in the fact that you also have the 3 ships, and they all have their own individual bonuses
Docking
and
permission
uses.
requested.
So you have let's see, I'm just gonna show you the skill,
Docking request
which is called
accepted.
Exhumers, because that's what T2 mining barges are called actually. Here we go, here we have one. And they're basically, you know, they're divided up again between the skiff, which is the T2 version of the Procurer. So again, lowest amount of M3 mined, you know, stuff like that. You have the Mackinac, which is the same as the Retriever, which has the highest amount of ore that it can hold, and you got the Hulk, and that can mine the fastest. And um, if you know, you've just seen the Retriever mine with the T2 um, strip miners, and it was about like 13 M3 a second. If you got the Hulk set up and you got mining boosts from an Orca, which I'll show you that in a bit too, then you're going to go up to 32 or 30 plus M3 a second, so that boosts your mining speed pretty much. Um, it's a little bit dirty. I'll just clean it. I know it's an industrial ship, but you know, we want to have a clean one and just have a cool skin. Oh, I don't have a skin, but yeah. So this is you know, the T2 version. It kind of flies the same, mines the same too. Um, you can also, you know, this is also, oh, this has modulated strip miners as well, and the fitting is kind of the same actually. So just like the um Retriever, you have your strip miners here. You have your mining laser upgrades. I got a afterburner and my survey scanner, and then I have a couple of odd choice modules in here maybe. Um, but that has a reason, because these are drone navigation computers. I'm already gonna dock up in the other one.
Warp drive
So I put
active.
some drone navigation computers on here because this thing has mining drones, and you can use the mining drones too actually on a rock. I haven't actually shown that yet, so I'll just quickly warp back to a an asteroid belt, show you what the mining drones do. And mining drones are really slow. They're really slow by themselves. Let me. I am just going to warp back to that one.
Warp drive active.
So if I'm just gonna put up the base stats for the mining drone, let's see. There we go. So normally the mining drone, if we scroll all the way down, it has a maximum velocity of only 500 meters a second. And as you could see on our mining grid, you know, some rocks are 20 kilometers away or even more, or, you know, and it's going to take a really long time for that drone to go over there. and mine this stuff, and then come back and deposit the ore in the ship and etc. and go back and forth. So I put those drone navigation computers in, which basically uh, increase the maximum speed, the velocity of the drone. And so this is the base stats of the drone, and here you have the stats that are of the drone that's in my ship. And it's still slow, but now it flies at over double the speed, which, if you think about it long enough, if it flies at double the speed, then, and it needs to traverse a big distance, then you cut down a whole lot of time, going back and forth. And so in terms, you mine more. And as we can hear, we are already being, oh, there's a lot of targets now. That's good. We'll just quickly, I haven't seen these before, but we'll just shoot them. Hopefully nothing bad comes from it. Otherwise, oh, these do pack a punch, actually. That's not good. Oh, okay. Let's not go here. Let's go to a different mining site. Let's just quickly bounce.
Warp drive active.
Would be funny to lose a ship, but I don't want to lose a ship. I could lose one. Not today, though, I think. There we go. Let's just go to another mining site. Hopefully those rats won't be there. Rats as in, I call all the NPC enemies rats. It's not a derogatory term, but it's just, I don't know, it's like an Eve dictionary thing. There's,
It's short for pirates.
oh, it is short for, it is, oh, is that where it came from? I just thought that it was the vermin. Not meant, as an insult, but, I don't know if you can even insult NPC enemies, but,
Warp drive active.
yeah, the nice, cute vermin, yeah. And yeah, that was indeed a stronghold fleet, so I don't want to. Oh, there's a question there. I did not see that. I'm sorry about that. If there is no skin on it, it still gets dirty. Yep. Even, if there's ships get dirty these days. We used to not have that in the past, but now they get dirty if you don't use them, or if you do use them. There's no rats here. That's cool. Let's just go with that. Okay, so we got our mining drones right here. They fly a little bit faster. And let's just send them to that rock over there. And as you can see, they do like fly slowish. But they just, no, they're cool. Each of them has their own mining laser. Oh, that's a little bit too fast. But they just do that thing, they mine, and if they're done, they come back to your ship and they deposit the stuff. My ship is over there. That's basically how they do it. And you can recall them just like normal drones. There's a return in orbit and mine and turn to drone base, so we're just going to do that right now. That's how they work. So they're really nifty, and they of course work all across your targeting and drone range, which at the moment is kind of the same. So that's good. But 57 kilometers is a long way, uh, you know, to move. The cleaning option, my ship is clean, but it's damaged now. Um, let's just already warp back to the station, and I'll show you the cleaning option on the way there.
Warp drive
If
active.
you go to your fitting window, there's a personalization option here, and there's a clean ship button right there. And at the moment, I think my ship is already completely clean, but most of the time when it's dirty, you press the clean button, you instantly see it, you know, it works instantly, cleans it again, so that's really, really cool. Um, how do you use drones and your ship's lasers together? Well, you just send the mining drones to the ore, and then you activate your
Docking
modules as
permission
well. So it
requested.
works, all together. You can even send all of your drones to different rocks if you want to. You know, you can just individual
Docking request accepted.
target the rocks and just send your drones over there, etc. So really cool, really versatile as well. Um, Now we're going to dive into the ice mining. Yes, ice mining drones work the same. They are bigger though. I think um, a normal like the normal mining barge like this one has a 50. It's a drone thing. Each drone has a bandwidth um, number that, you know, if you launch one drone, small drone uses 5 bandwidth, and you know the ship has 50 bandwidth in total. And we're just going to quickly simulate this, and we are going to remove all of these drones because one ice mining drone, uh, ice ice harvester drone is 50. So you can use 5 small drones, you know, because you have the bandwidth on your ship to do that. But you know, just one normal ice harvester drone, and that kind of works the same. It just flies to your ice block. I'll show that to you in a little minute when we go and grab out the ice miner. All of them, uh, a lot of them can ice mine though. You know these mining barges and exhumers too actually. Because I should have a yeah, there's an ice harvester in the other mods container. So that's this one. And then we just go into ice. And we just unfit these modules. And you can just fit the ice harvesters in there. So that just works. It doesn't work in combination with your mining laser upgrades though. You will need, I don't know if I have them. I'll just look them up in the simulation. You have ice harvester upgrades, which work the same as the mining laser upgrades, but it's just, you know, specific for ice mining. So that's the, you know, but the ice mining drones, the ice harvester drones do the same thing. I don't know if I understand that question, Lewa. Is it more efficient to just use one or the other? Is it best to use both? Um, I don't know if you could elaborate on that a little bit, please. And while Lyra is typing, I will already get myself sorted in the next chip. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it was in regards to the lasers and drones. Yeah, you can just use both, so works really good. Um, Here we have the the T2 brother or sister, or you know whatever, to the Venture, and this one I'm just quickly going to show the fitting. It's kind of a little bit similar, but you got more fitting space. So as the Venture only had one low slot, this one has 3. So that means that we can put more mining laser upgrades in there. Uh, if you really want to, you can fit a fourth, but you're going to lose out on a whole lot of hit points at that point. So we're not going to dive into that. We're just going to use it, as is. This is like a decent proper fitting. Um, I'm going to touch upon your question in a little bit, Lana. I'll get there. Thanks for the question, though. Really good one. Um, so we have our, we got our damage control here, which maybe you've already seen that one. It's kind of one of those modules that you can get early on. It kind of increases the overall resistance on your ship, you know, adds to the hit points. Then we got this small extender, um, and we got just some, this the survey scanner again because it's kind of a baseline module. We got a propulsion mod. We got the minor modules as on the Venture. I needed these because otherwise I didn't have enough CPU. Like if I turn these off, then you see I'm missing out on a whole lot of CPU because these mining laser upgrades are kind of big. If I turn them off, you know what I mean. But there's something much more useful on this ship, and that's this one. And this is called uh, Covert Ops Cloaking Device. And that means that this mining ship can cloak, and because it is like a normal cloaking device, you can cloak your ship, but you cannot warp your ship while cloaked. But with this one, you can warp cloaked as well, which means that you can use this ship and go somewhere and be as unseen as possible and just mine in enemy territory or maybe dangerous territory and come back home alive because being cloaked, people cannot scan you, people cannot see you. If you uh, go through a gate and you cloak up immediately on the other end, it's going to be really difficult for people. If there's a gate camp, it's going to be really difficult for people to target you, especially because you're a frigate. A small ship. It's going to be difficult to target you. And before that they could even target you, you're already cloaked. So that's what this thing kind of does. There was a question by Lana. Is there a difference between being stationary and orbiting? Um, yes, in theory there is. In theory, if you orbit the rock, which is what they kind of teach you during the tutorial, you're moving. So if the enemies, the NPCs, if the enemies shoot you, um, they might have a harder time tracking your ship, thus you get less damage. Yes, it's an option. I actually never orbit anything because I'm mining my rock and I've already positioned my own ship and maybe a couple other ships in range of multiple rocks. So then if one of the rocks is depleted and it goes poof, I can already start on the other rock right away. And if I'm orbiting it, then the distance to the other rocks changes all the time. And also if I want to warp out really quickly and I'm moving in direction A and I need to go like 180 backwards to direction B to be able to dock up, it's going to take me longer to move, to warp out. So that's, if I'm stationary, then I know that in like, this is like 4 seconds and I'll be gone. If I'm moving, it could be 5, maybe 6, maybe 10, because I'm moving the opposite direction. So that's why I never kind of orbit stuff. Um, so that was, I hope that kind of answers your no, yeah, so that kind of answers your question hopefully, and it's not related to yield. No, it just the module just has the stats as it is here, and it's not really affected on if you move or if you orbit or whatever. um so we saw the T1 version, which is the Venture. We saw the T1 mining barges, and the T2s. They have versions, three different versions. The Venture kind of has just the one, but then if you go into the T2, there's two different ones. You have this Prospect one, which has the covert ops cloak. I'll show you how that works when I undock it in just a minute. And we have the other one, which is called the Endurance. And I'm quickly just going to show them side by side. They're called Expedition frigates, by the way. Really cool name. And there's two versions of that. So it's, the Prospect and the Endurance. And they kind of look the same, but they're also different. Um, so the Prospect has the ability to warp cloaked, and it has two mining turrets, so two of those miner modules, and just put on the overview page. The Endurance has a reduction in cloaking device CPU requirement, and that's good, but it cannot fit a covert ops cloak, meaning it cannot warp while cloaked. You can warp it to some place and cloak up to, stay safe if you are in a system somewhere and you're mining and people are hunting you or whatever, and you don't feel safe. You can just warp at a planet for, say, at like 100 kilometers or something, turn on your cloaking device, and you're pretty much undetectable. There's ways to make you detectable again, but that's a story for a different day. But if you put on your cloak, you're pretty darn safe. Um, but it cannot fly or warp. It can fly cloaked, it cannot warp cloaked. So that's kind of the difference. And this one can only use one mining laser. Um, but it has, to offset that, it has a 300 bonus to ore mining yield. So it mines more with the one laser. Uh, you know, so you have a couple of more utility high slots. The other really big difference is as well, the Endurance can use drones to defend itself, and the Prospect does not have a drone bay. So that's kind of, you know, uh, it's kind of the choice you have in the T2 version of the Venture. I'll just quickly show you how that works with, warping while cloaked. You can basically just warp to something. If I just warp to this one at 100.
Warp drive active.
You can basically just uh, turn on the cloak mid-warp. You can do that, so you're warping to something. You don't know what's on the other end. You're just like, okay, let's just cloak it up, and it'll cloak up your ship in a couple seconds, and now you're undetectable on your D-scan, and people cannot see you in space. You won't turn up on the overview and stuff like that, and you just land there. Cloak is still on, and now you want to go back, so just dock back up. You
Warp
stay
drive
cloaked.
active.
You see, that's kind of the strength of this ship. You can just zip around the system all cloaked up. Nobody's gonna see you. If another ship comes into like 2,500 meters, or an object, or a container, or any item, then you decloak automatically. As you can probably see now, when we go to the station, and the station should be, yep, see,
Docking permission requested.
cloak
Docking request accepted.
deactivates as well because you're too close. Could be 2 kilometers as well. One of the two. I don't know if it's um, I don't know if it shows on the attributes actually, but something really close. So some people use that to their advantage to put a lot of ships and drones and stuff like that on a gate camp, and then they decloak you. But yeah, so that's Um, you know, the prospect works the same as the venture and the other mining barges, etc. And now we're going to go to the other one, which is the endurance. And I quickly need to find the system that has the mining belt, the ice mining belt next door, and that should be. Let's see. Yep, I found it. So we're just gonna go there, and we're gonna use that ice mining harvester. See, it's also ice mining laser actually. See, it has the improved cloaking device fitted. It's a cloaking device, but if we activate this one, oh yeah, it's 2,000 meters indeed. Let's just burn outside of this station for a little bit. Yeah, so we can use it. I can cloak up the ship, no problem. But if we want to if we go and want to warp to the other gate, then nope. See, because this is a normal cloaking device, and you won't be able to cloak and warp at the same time. So that's kind of the difference.
Warp drive active.
So that's why the covert ops cloaking device is really, really good. That is also very true. I should have done that actually. Um, the agency window does show you where the mining belts are. So I think resource harvesting, and then you can just click on ice belts, and then you get a really cool list actually. Um, oh, the one here is gone. Okay. Oh, so the next one is, oh, that's a little bit too far out, sadly. Should have been one here. I think it's already been depleted, which is also a possibility. Because I'm looking at the Dotland map here, which is a really cool. Let me just post that for you. Dotland, if you've not used it before, it's like an out-of-game map on the web, on the web page, and there, yeah, the system I'm in now, Ucho Mira, should have an ice belt, but from the looks of it, if I look on the probe scanner window, there's no ice belt here, which means somebody has already mined all of the ice, meaning there's no ice to be found here today. So sorry about that. Yeah, the other systems are a little bit too dangerous to go and ice mine in, just as a random thing. Um, there's probably people waiting on the way to try and shoot me, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back to Samanuni, and I'm just going to show you what mining boosts do. So sadly no ice, but ice is, works similar. It's just a bigger rock to mine, basically, and it's different because it's ice, so everything is white and blue and all that, kind of stuff.
Warp drive active.
I think everything. I think looking at the agency window, it was just, well, yeah, any distance within 2 jumps. Yeah, but it's still going to be low sec, so 5 jumps, still all going to be low sec, so
Docking
I'm
permission
not
requested. Docking
not going to
request
go there right now.
accepted.
I've already almost entertained you with losing a ship. If I go there, then I will definitely lose a ship, which is good as a teaching experience, but I'd rather not lose this one today if that's okay. There is difference in ice. Each region has its own ice. Um, I think you can find it if you go onto the market and just, you know, show everything. Just, not show only available, just do everything. And then if we go to, let's see, should be at resources. Let me just try and look for one. Yeah, so it's ice ores. There we go. So each region has their own uh, ice that spawns. So it's blue ice or uh, clear icicle, white glaze, all that kind of stuff. There are a couple of them that are uh, like the same and that spawn in each region as like the glare crust, the crystallos, and the gelitis and dark glitter. They're kind of a higher value ice to mine, and these kind of like for instance, blue ice. Yeah, blue ice turns into, if you reprocess it, goes into oxygen isotopes, and that is Galente space, I think. Yeah, so you can only mine blue ice in any Galente system, and then if I just pick a random other one, I think glacial mass, yeah, turns into hydrogen. Hydrogen is Minmatar. So the glacial mass you can only mine in Minmatar space systems, and that goes for nullsec, lowsec, and highsec. So you won't find it in other, you won't find that ice in, you won't find smooth glacial mass in, say, Amar or something like that. Um, there is a question there. So do they reprocess the same things but different amounts? No, they do. The different ice types um, produce different amount of things. There is a really, really cool website that I'm going to share with you, um, which is this one, and they have pages for normal ore and moon ore too. So if you go to this website, it will that I linked in the classroom. It's celestis.de, and it just shows you each and every type of ore and ice and whatever it kind of uh, uh, reprocesses into. Really cool, and it also shows you where that you can mine it. So that's another one that's really good. So you got the dot land that you can see where ice belts are. You have the in-game thing, the agency thing. That is really cool. You can also just look up asteroid belts and all that kind of stuff. And you can also use dot land. Um, Normally there's a question there. Are the rats that are attacking worth looting and salvaging? Um, the ones that just attacked my exhumer, I was trying to kill them, um, but they weren't going down really quickly, and I think that it would have been a bad idea to attack them with that ship anyway. But normally the rats don't yield an awful lot of value. It's just kind of maybe similar to if you do like lower end high sec missions or lower end high sec combat sites. You have to, whatever you get from those ships, you can also get from the the ships that spawn in the asteroid belt. If you go into more dangerous space, so like low sec and null sec, like in null sec you'll have battleship spawns on your asteroid belt. You sometimes even have capital size dreadnoughts NPCs that spawn. It's really nice when you're just mining about and one of these guys spawns, and you just get one shot off the field. That's a possibility. So if you go into more dangerous space, then the rats are, more valuable to shoot. Uh, but yeah. There's another question there. So when Eve Uni does mining fleets and there are non-miners that participate as like security and stuff, you could do that, yes. Especially I don't really do mining fleets for Eve Uni, but I think, if you do an Eve Uni mining fleet, or you do, if you do it with your friends, like if you're in high sec, then you can just use like one of these ships, and you can fit some drones, and in high sec you'll be kind of fine, The rats are not really gonna bother you a whole lot. Even the Venture, if you just fit it with an extra shield module, and you use like you can only use one drone, but that one drone is, if all of your buddies or friends, if you got 4 friends and you're all mining, your drones will easily be able to defeat all these rats. So that's cool. But if you go into low sec, then maybe you want to have someone with you uh, to act as eyes, or to check on a different system to see if enemies are coming in. You can also have him there, to help you out when enemy lands on you or stuff like that. Um, Probably Poshfin mining too. I've never mined in Poshfin. I don't really like Poshfin. It's because I don't have access to Poshfen stations because I don't have the standing to dock in Poshfen stations. So it doesn't really, it's not really. It's interesting for a whole lot of people, but not really for me, just because of that. Um, I think most of the people that mine the high-end mining sites in Poshfin, they probably live there, so they do have like the standing to either dock in an NPC station, or they have structures. They have citadel structures up there, and they can dock there. Because you mine in Poshfin and you mine the really valuable ore, you probably also have a little bit more money. So you can have, yourself in a separate character or a friend be ready in a really, really good combat ship to try and help you out. Um, but yeah, and of course, there's nothing against using a Poshfin filament and just going in there with your venture and uh, try to go in there, mine some really high valuable stuff, and use another filament to go back out again. But it is going to be a little bit more dangerous. So that's basically how it goes with mining. Basically, the stuff that you can mine in high sec is I don't want to say cheap, but it is less valuable than the stuff that you can mine in low sec, and then you go into null sec, and then wormhole space has can have ore and stuff like that as well, and then Poshfen is the probably the location with the most valuable ore. Actually, if I look at that Celestis website that I've linked you, if you go to the normal ore mining page, and you just click on you sort on the refined value, and you go with the most valuable stuff first. The stuff that I can't even pronounce, but I'll try it anyway. The Bezd Nasin, that's Triglavian ore, so that is only found in Poshfen um, systems, and that has a refined value of like 1.3 million per 1000 M3. And if you want to compare that with the other really high-end ore, the most valuable moon ore that you could ever mine at the moment is Xenotime, which the base version refines into 1.5 million. So basically, it's the stuff in Poshfin is almost the most valuable stuff that you can mine in the entire game. So that's really good. But yeah, risk versus reward basically. Um, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go back into my Mackinac, And of course, it is damaged, so we're going to repair it real quick. Repair all. There we go. And I'm quickly just, I will move this thing out in a little bit, but I'm going to put all these modules back in, get these modules back out, put the strip miner back in. We're quickly going to go into mining boosters and what they do. I have two booster ships here in the ship hangar, and I'm just going to show them to you. I won't dive into those very much because we were already running on 1.5 hours of class, so this is kind of the last portion of the class. Then we're gonna do some general tips and tricks, more questions. Um, we have a porpoise ship here, which kind of looks like a Noctis, and the Noctis is a salvage ship, and this is kind of almost similar to that, but it looks just a little bit different. And it's not really, it can mine on its own with mining drones because it can use that, but it cannot use mining modules on its own. Basically its only purpose is to increase the mining abilities of everyone in your fleet, and it does that with these really cool modules. So we've got these mining uh, foreman bursts, and they have a range. So if you activate it, everyone in a range of like 39 kilometers is going to get this boost. And we're just going to look at I want to have the charge info, please. Yeah, so if I use this mining burst with this charge, everyone in my fleet that's in range is going to be able to mine at 40% extended range, which is cool because as you saw, some of the rocks are really far out. Maybe they're at 60-kilometer range or whatever, or well, you won't be able to hit 60, but you'll be able to go comfortably at like 50 kilometers away, and you can target rocks there. So then the field of where you can work in with your ship is bigger. And for instance, this one, it increases the duration or it decreases the duration of the mining module that you're using, which in terms means it cycles faster, so you mine more. So that's really cool too. So that's basically what it does. And what you can also do in one of these, I will clean it by the way, because someone noticed the skin. It is a skin, yes. It is the Galnat Streamcast skin. It's not that expensive, I think. Let me just clean the ship and then you can see because it's a little bit dirty now. If I clean it, oh, that looks so much better because it's white and pink. So that's a cool one. What this ship also has is the ability to compress ore in space. And what compressing ore is, I think I can just show you with stats actually. So if we're going to look at Veldspar, and we're just going to grab normal Veldspar, and we're going to grab compressed Veldspar. We're just going to put them side by side. We're going to go to the attributes, and you can only see like 1 unit of Veldspar is 0.1 M3, and 1 unit of compressed is 0.001. So it gets, you compress it by a value of 100, which means you can, you can stuff more ore in your mining ship because you can compress it. And normally you can only compress the ore like in a station or something like that. But now you can do it in space. So that's really cool. There's a question in the chat. Is there a benefit to fitting multiple foreman bursts? Yes, because each mining foreman burst can only use one one charge, one charge type. So if you use two, then you can use two of them, and they stack. You will get both of them. Um, and if we go into the bigger version, which is the Orca, um, which we have here. No, well, the other question in the chat is, can I stack the same buff? No, sadly you cannot. Otherwise, my life would be so much simpler if I could do that, because I could mine really, really fast. But no, you can only stack the same. Yeah, you can't stack it. You just get the one. Here I have three actually. The third one, which is also really nice to just show, it says um, mining crystal volatility bonus -15, which means we've used the T2 strip miners with the crystals, and I told you that they uh, they break down over time. So if you use this boosting charge, it takes a longer time for the crystals to break. So this is kind of the three options that you have, and this Orca has all three of them equipped. Um, yeah, they just add. They just add basically. So you get and the mining preservation and the field enhancement and the optimization charge. So you're gonna have all of them. I'm just gonna grab that Mackinac that I had, and I'm going to undock my other buddy here that's been sitting next to me kind of the entire time in an Orca as well. And we're just gonna warp back to hopefully not those not those dangerous uh, pirates again, but just let me just grab the top one. As you can see, oh, the other Orca is also a little bit dirty. Let's just clean that one too. There we go. It's a blue one. And I am going to warp. Yeah, I'm just gonna warp the Orca
active.
and myself with the fleet warp. Oh wait, that didn't work because I didn't put my other buddy in the fleet, I
Warp
think.
drive active.
So I'm just gonna quickly do that. There we go. That is also something worthy. I'm gonna touch upon your question, Habi, in a little bit. I will. That's also a noteworthy thing. You cannot receive mining boosts if you are not in the fleet together with the person that is boosting the fleet. So this is a normal pirate. That's good. That's good. Let's just shoot that guy. The Orca is en route. Um, Question from Hobby is, are the so if you have +50 and -50, you get +15. Yeah, that's true. So it kind of decreases the volatility on the crystals then. Uh, how long it takes for you to before they're destroyed. Um, these towers. There's a question in the chat that asks me what these towers are. Well, these are Edencom towers, and there's a little bit of lore in game. Edencom is basically the a collection of every Empire faction in Eve, and they've turned into this Edencom group, and Edencom fights the Triglavians. So there's been a war going on in Eve with Edencom and Triglavians for a long time, and some systems, are Edencom at the moment. Some systems are Trig systems. So you will also see systems with Triglavian uh, turrets in game, and if I were to have negative standings with Edencom, these really big Gunstar turrets would be shooting me right now. The same goes with the Triglavian turrets. So that's why I also don't like Poshfin, because if you go into Poshfin, you have to side with the Triglavians, and you'll get negative Edencom standings, and I want to be doing stuff in high sec. So that's, that's just a personal choice of preference. You can go into uh, Porsche, you can do whatever you want. You are your own pilot, and you can do all that kind of stuff. The Edencom systems also indeed have a bonus to mining speed, as mentioned in the chat as well. And yes, you can also shoot the drones to get positive standings again with both. That's really cool. There's a question in the chat. Aren't orcas a pretty favorite ganking target, even in high sec? Yes, that is very true. Which we'll go on that in we'll touch up upon that in a little bit when we go into the general tips and tricks. At the moment, we just have the. Let me put the crystals in. So we're going to compare stats a little bit. So at the moment we have a 15 kilometers mining range. We can mine at 16 M3 a second, and our survey scanner also has 23 kilometers. And we're going to change all of those stats with the mining boosts on the Orca. So the Orca is going to turn on the mining boosts. It's going to give a visual effect too. It's really cool. As you can see, these big plumes of poof go up. Basically in the same region as that the Orca gives the boosts. It's a little bit more than the porpoise. The Orca can cover almost 60 kilometers, or actually, I think 60 kilometers is the max, so that's really cool. And we're going to go back to these mining modules, and something has changed now. So we went up to 31 kilometers, and we changed that from 15 kilometers to 31, and we went from like 13 M3 a second up to 26.9, so like kind of 27 per strip miner. Really good. And we also like doubled the range at which the survey scanner can scan. So if I press the button now, as you can see, everything is within the 47 kilometers, so I'm going to see everything. And because I have 31 kilometers range, I can also just click on all the things, and doesn't really matter where they are, and I can just mine them. And the mining lasers get really long, as you can see, and it just does its thing. And the Orca is just gonna keep boosting, because the Orca's boosting modules, they kind of work non-stop, unless you turn them off again. It takes like I don't know, what's the cycle time? It takes like does it take a minute? Trying to see what the.
Isn't it 260 seconds?
I think the industrial core is 260 seconds. I'm trying to. Let me take a look at my own Orca. Let me see if I can figure it out. Simulate the Orca's fitting. Show the tab. Cycle time, please. Oh, activation time duration, 1 minute. So that's really cool. It does give like 2 minutes of boost time at the moment. Oh, that's cool. See the that rock already got depleted, so that's really cool. So it's 1 minute, and I think the boost duration, when you've got your Orca all set up properly, and you got your good skills, and you got one of these really cool implants to improve the Orca's boosting, which is this one, the Mining Foreman Mind Link, which increases the strength and duration of the boost. So yeah, it goes up to like 2 minutes. So that means that your Orca can intermittently just warp off grid, drop off ore, and come back again, because you can kind of right click on this Orca right here and you can open the fleet hangar. There's so many things in Eve. I want to touch up on all of them, but I can't. But the Orca has a fleet hangar, and the Orca pilot can open up that fleet hangar for people to, open it, and then you can just, you're already filling up, not so much, but you're filling up on ore. Maybe it's full, and then you just drag and drop everything into that Orca's fleet hangar, and then the Orca pilot can just grab everything out of that fleet hangar and move it someplace else, like I'm doing right now. See? So on the Orca pilot, I've moved it, and you know that now you've got a clean, well, not really clean, but you got, you've filled it. You filled that Orca up a little bit. I will show you now what it does when the Orca turns on the industrial core and the compressor. So if we go back to my Orca really quickly and simulate the fitting, you have this Indy core here, and that needs to be running, and then you can use this asteroid compressor. And if you use the both of them, that means that everyone in your fleet and in a vicinity of 125 kilometers can compress any ore that's in your ship, and we're going to do that right now. Just going to turn on the core for one cycle, and if I now right click on the ore that I've already mined, I can press this button, compress. If I press that, it just does it automatically. It compresses the scoredite, and it, tinifies it like WinZip. Just makes
The
it
asteroid
smaller.
is depleted.
And that's basically how you can keep mining and keep filling up the ore hold and just stay on grid. And that's basically the bonus of that. So you don't have to move back to your station and drop off the ore. You can just stay there. The the dangerous thing now, and now we're going to go into that ganking thing as well. So that that industrial core works a little bit funny, because if I'm gonna show you the info page. There is a statistic here that says, yeah, here it is. Maximum velocity bonus is minus 100%, which means is the entire time that this industry core is running, it's already answered a little bit in the chat. It does work like a Bastion module on a Marauder or a Siege module on a Dread. The thing can't move now, so there's no way for you to escape. And what the industry core also does, and I can show you that too, is it further improves the boosts you get from the mining foreman burst. So if we look at now, we've gone up from 26.9 to 29.9 and 34 kilometers range, and this thing goes up to 50 instead of 47. So it overall improves by a further 9 to 10-ish%, kind of, or maybe not even, but somewhere around that range. It just improves it slightly, and that's basically the trade-off. And yeah, the cycle time is like 2.5-ish minutes for the in the industrial core on the Orca. If you go up to the porpoise, it gets cut into half. It's only 1 minute and 15 seconds. And if you go up to the very large one, so the biggest mining booster ship is this one, which is the Rorqual, and the Rorqual is a really cool
The
ship
asteroid is defeated.
too. Let me just show it to you. This is the Rorqual. Yeah, it's really nice, really big ship too. Um, um, and it's kind of the same as the Orca. You know, it has the mining foreman bursts. I fitted a shield burst here as well. It just has more fitting space. It's also a capital ship, so it has let's see, it has a lot of hit points. You know, more than the Orca. Excuse me. And the boosts are better. You know, the overall boosts get improved even more. But you cannot use this in high sec. You can only use this in low sec and null sec and wormhole space. Poshven too, I think, but you'll have to probably build one there or filament. I don't know if you can use a filament in a Rorqual, but yeah, this one's like the biggest one. Really cool ship too. Um, so yeah. Um, yeah. Capital ship cannot go into high sec. That's correct. There are, however, a couple of capital ships that are in high sec, but they are, you know, CCP allows people that have them to keep them in high sec, but they cannot use offensive modules. So there is a Amar Dreadnought that is completely fitted with mining lasers. You'll have to, you know, look it up, Google it. And it's a true story though, and it's still there. But you know, he doesn't undock it, of course, because it will get killed. The Rockwell indeed is a multi-purpose ship, and it can fit a clone bay. So people can create a clone in the Rockwell if you have the stuff fitted. The Rockwell can also jump an entire fleet of ships from one system to the next. It's called a conduit jump module. That's also really cool. And it can also house ships, kind of similar like the Orca, because
The
I can.
asteroid is defeated.
I am just going to put all of this stuff in here, and I can right-click the Orca. Oh, this is really cool. I can right-click the Orca, and I can say Store Vessel. What does that do? It teleports the mining barge into the Orca, and now I'm in my pod. And you can just put whatever kind of ship you want, basically, in the Orca's fleet. No, the ship maintenance bay. See, now my... Oh, look, I can pick this other mining ship, because I've been using this one. Now I want that one, so I just say board ship from bay. And then cool animation happens, and wow. You know, that's stuff you can do with Orca and Rorqual as well. I am going to warp these ships back to the station here,
Warp drive active.
and then we're going to talk about some tips and tricks. Someone mentioned in the chat that the Orca is a pretty favorite target for gankers, and that is true. That is very true. Oh, look, they're jumping simultaneously. That is really cool. And that is very true, because the Orca is a really expensive ship, and if it has that core running, it's like a sitting duck. You know, people will gank it. Same goes with the mining ships. You know, they have hit points. You know, as we touched upon the mining barges, the the Procurer and its bigger brother, the Skiff, have the most hit points, so
Docking
they're
permission
less
requested.
likely
Docking request
to get
accepted.
targeted by
Docking
gankers,
permission
but
requested.
they can
Docking
still get
request
ganked in high
accepted.
sec. You know, any and all ship can die in high sec. There is no exception. The only ships that cannot die are the CCP's own game master ships. You know, that's a different story though. Um, so yeah, so you can get ganked. You can. I'll just quickly. I don't need to be in this frigate, but I'm just gonna be in this frigate for now. You can use D-scan, which I'll quickly show you what that is, to try and see if there are ganking ships around you. This is the directional scanner, otherwise known as D-scan. You can find it by pressing Alt and D. If you press the Alt D combination, and basically what it does, you can already see it. It's gonna scan the this area, so the 14.1 AU range, and what AU is the distance between you and, for instance, this Navy installation is 6.4 or something else, and it's just going to scan the entire space for any ships, you know, that are there. And if you see a lot of similar type ships, so maybe there are a lot of catalyst ships, or there are a lot of vectors, or maybe there are a lot of bomber ships like manticores and stuff like that. Manticore is a Caldari bomber ship which can fire torpedoes, does really high damage, but a really tiny ship. So if you see something like that, you know you that could indicate that there's a group of people around there that is there to shoot the ships that you are flying at the moment. Um, Also, like if we look at the local chat, like you know, for me, there's one guy with negative standing here, you know, based on my alliance at the moment. Uh, you know, but the rest of all, they all have neutral standing. I don't, you know, all of these people, I don't know them. I don't have any standing with them. But you know, it's high sec. They can still just come in and shoot me because that's just how the game is. You're never really safe in any part of the galaxy. That's kind of, you know, the thing. Um, so you'll never know. So that's why you try and be as sensible about it as you can, and just you know, fit your ship properly. Um, um, and uh, keep an eye on the local, for instance. Like if, for instance, there's 10 people here now. If there's like 30 extra people coming in, then you need to, you know, press on that D scan. Check if there's, you know, catalysts or any other, you know, random favorite ganking ships out there, and then maybe you need to move off and dock up. You know, so it's kind of how it goes. You never know. Other good tips and tricks. Most of the time, and I'll say most of the time in high sec, you'll be pretty darn safe. You can get ganked if you are not in a, you know, if you're not just um, mining AFK in a very expensive mining ship, like for instance, one of those T2 exhumers. They're very expendy, and gankers like to shoot spendy stuff. So if you're not AFK mining, and with AFK mining I mean like your computer is running upstairs and you're watching a movie downstairs on the couch, that's AFK mining. That's generally not a really good thing to do because you know, you don't know what's happening around you with your ship and stuff. So um, mining is like a really uh, uh, like in high sec, it's a really low effort thing to do. Doesn't take a lot of effort to click on you know, a mining laser or something like that. But you know, you're better off watching a video on the second screen of your computer or something like that. Um, Also, uh, if you go into other other space, so low sec, for instance, then you have to expect a fight because people are going to find you and they're going to hunt for you. If you see other people in low sec and they are not blue to you, and with blue I mean you have like a blue thingy in front of their name, then all of them are potentially out there to get you, which is the nature of the game. So you need to take care with that. And if you go into any other space like nullsec or wormhole space or Poshfen, there are people most of the time actively living there, and if you are mining their quote unquote their asteroid belts that they own because they own the system or they own the wormhole or whatever, they won't take kindly to that. So they're really going to be a little bit pissed off. They're going to try and find you, and they're going to try and shoot you and kill your pot as well. Um, so yeah, kind of depends on which type of space you're in, but you also like need to be a little bit vigilant. Um, Other tips and tricks, just go out there and try this stuff. There's loads of stuff to try out. If you lose like a venture or whatever on a couple of first tries, that might be in the beginning that could be like a substantial loss to you. But it's better to lose that venture for now, which you can fit it up for maybe less than 1 million ISK, I think, which is could be it's a lower end chip. It's better to lose that than like the mining barge, which is way more expensive, like 60 to upwards of 100 million ISK. And then if you go into uh, the exhumers, the Tech 2 ships, you could be looking at 200 million to upwards. If you really fit it nice, you can go up to 400 million ISK a ship. So that's going to be a really really rough day if you lose one of those. Um, yeah, so take care with that. Uh, Please also check that you are using the correct charges if you are using one of those
Docking permission requested. Docking
T2
request
strip miners.
accepted.
Make sure that you have the correct charge fitted in them, otherwise you're not able to otherwise you're not able to mine the ore that you're looking at the moment. Um, uh, and just be a little bit sensible about that, and just generally just have fun. Mostly, you can mine on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. Mining with friends is even better, and then someone can also turn on the mining boosts and improve your mining abilities and stuff from your friends as well. So yeah, that's kind of it. So we touched upon the small ships. You start off with the Venture. Um, you can use all of these really nice skills, by the way. You got mining skill for the normal miner modules and charges and stuff like that. You got the mining upgrades for the upgrade module that goes in the low slot. Um, so those are kind of like the things what you start off with on the Venture. I think you already have mining learned when you start. You also already have this um, mining frigate skill learned, at least to level 1, I think, when you start off on your EVE adventure, and then you can just progressively upgrade into, the mining upgrades. You can go into the mining barge skill that I've shown you to get access to these mining barges, so like the one that I'm in right now. Um, and that also, goes into the this one, the exhumer skill, because you need um, some skills for that, and you also need mining barge level 5 to even fly the Hulk and the Skiff and the Mackinac. You also have these the mining drone operation for the drones that I shown you. You know, the mining drones that just you can send them to any rock that you want. So there's a skill for that too. And then there's some extra skills. For instance, this astrogeology skill, which is really handy because it increases the mining yield per turret 5% per skill level. So that's a really good one to have. And then you got this one too. Oh, we'll have to reprocess some ore. We'll reprocess some ore at the end too, so you can see how that works. Ore processing skills, which increases the reprocessing yield for the ore that you want to reprocess, because you're going to lose a little bit of materials, while reprocessing the ore. It's just the nature of the game. But this also uh, goes into being able to use these mining crystals. So if you have simple ore processing 3, you can use the Tech 1 versions of the crystals. And if you train like a day or two longer, maybe 3 days, then you can go into these, like the T2 version. So that's really cool. And then you got your ice harvesting. We sadly weren't able to mine any ice because the ice belt was empty. And then we also have gas cloud harvesting. We haven't really touched upon that. I briefly mentioned it, that you can mine gas. You can basically put the gas cloud harvesters, and you also have a bigger gas cloud modules for these mining barges. Kind of work the same, and mining it is kind of similar, like mining the asteroid belt or the ice. It's just a gas cloud in space, and it spawns in low sec and null sec. I won't be able to show you a gas site sadly today, but kind of works similar. And it's just it's just another turret and a harvest gas, and you can sell the gas, and it's could be quite profitable because some gas types are really valuable. Um, yeah, and be careful too with moving your mining ship towards low sec or null sec or something. You can use dotlan or the in-game, like for instance, if I want to go to where do I want to go to? I want to go to I'm gonna go here. Well, all that, is there a faster route? Is there a shorter route? Yes, there is. So this is kind of not the route that you would want to take, because it's going to take your kind of defenseless. I mean, it has drones, but it's kind of defenseless ship actually. Um, through all of these really kind of dangerous low sec systems, and most of the time people know that this is like a shortcut, so they could be waiting for you there. So don't do that and just use the safe route. And then you could try your luck at mining in for instance, this system. I've just randomly chosen this one because I knew the name, but you can do that. We're kind of reaching the end of the class. Are there any more questions from people in the chat or on comms? Please tell me. I see nobody. Oh, I see someone typing. I see someone typing. Oh, okay. Well, that's good too. There's not a question, just a thanks for the class. That's cool. Well, thank you very, very much. It's been a little bit of a long sitting because with classes, 2 hours now, but thank you all.